Hey there, educators, and welcome to this explainer. Today, I'm stepping into the role of your mentor teacher, and we're going to unpack the exact mechanics of effective lesson planning. If you've ever wanted to see how educational theory translates into a tangible, day-by-day classroom reality, well, you're definitely in the right place. Grab your notes and let's dive right into this. So, here's the fundamental challenge we literally all face in the classroom. How do we actually move young learners from simply sitting through direct instruction to really achieving independent mastery? Specifically, how do we take complex historical and cultural concepts and make them accessible to third graders without completely overwhelming them? Today, we're going to look at a highly structured unit plan from Oklahoma City Public Schools that does exactly this, answering this exact question brilliantly. Here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll hit the unit overview and goals. Second, we'll break down the gradual release model. Third, mapping the 5 days. Fourth, supporting diverse learners. And finally, we'll look at some actual supplemental student materials. Let's get to it. All right, starting us off with Section 1, Unit Overview and Goals. The absolutely crucial starting point for any lesson is setting a crystal clear destination. For this third grade social studies unit, our primary goal is Priority Standard 3.1.3. We're teaching 8-year-olds to describe the historical significance of the Oklahoma state flag, the Great Seal, and to explain how the name Oklahoma is actually derived from the Choctaw language. It's a really rich, culture-heavy standard to tackle. To put that into perspective, success here is mapped across 4 distinct levels of mastery on a standards-based grading scale. At level 1, which is developing, a student can simply identify the symbols. By level 3, understanding, they can describe the significance of those symbols. But our ultimate target? That's level 4, extending. This means students aren't just memorizing static facts, they're actively explaining how each symbol connects to the broader history and identity of Oklahoma. Moving right along to Section 2, the gradual release model. So this entire 5-day unit runs on the Gradual Release of Responsibility Framework, or GRR. It's an absolute cornerstone strategy for ensuring students achieve long-term learning success without hitting cognitive overload. By moving purposefully from direct instruction to guided practice, and finally handing the baton over for independent application, we give students the exact scaffolding they need right when they need it. It builds their confidence step by step. The real beauty of this framework? It's that simple, powerful 3-step engine. Step 1, I do. Explicit modeling. The teacher unpacks core concepts and visual cues during the first 10 minutes. Step 2, we do. Collaborative practice. This is a super low-stakes, highly supported environment where students practice critical thinking together. And Step 3, you do. Independent application. Just a quick 5 to 7 minute formative assessment where students demonstrate their individual mastery. It's a rhythm that students quickly learn to trust. Okay, let's jump into Section 3, Mapping the 5 days. Let's actually look at how this plays out chronologically. Notice the logical progression we've got going on here. On Monday and Tuesday, students explore highly concrete, immediate visual artifacts, the state flag and the Great Seal. On Wednesday, the focus deepens into linguistic history by exploring the Choctaw roots of the state's name. Thursday bridges the gap by tying a daily school routine, the state salute, back to those historical emblems. And finally, day 5 is pure synthesis, where students create a community shield. We're purposefully moving them from concrete visuals to abstract language to creative application. Let's see this in action using day 1 as our anchor. During guided instruction, the teacher leads a choral repetition. The teacher calls out, olive branch, and the class calls back, peace. It's highly supported and really collaborative. But by the end of the lesson, during independent practice, the students are sitting quietly, coloring and correctly labeling a blank outline of the flag in their journals. We've officially released the responsibility to them. Which brings us to Section 4, Supporting Diverse Classroom Learners. Look, a truly well-designed unit anticipates the needs of all learners right out of the gate, especially in a diverse urban classroom setting. This plan intentionally embeds universal design for learning principles. It relies on multimodal resources, meaning students are reading narratives, looking at digital graphics, and building tactile journal entries. It utilizes scaffolded literacy supports for striving readers and English language learners by strictly contextualizing academic vocabulary. And crucially, it is anchored in culturally responsive teaching. And I really want to emphasize this point. The unit rationale specifically ensures we honor the sovereignty and contributions of Native nations, directly referencing the Choctaw Nation and the 5 tribes.
Rather than treating history as just a boring list of static facts, this culturally responsive approach validates the actual world these students live in. It ensures that diverse learners see their own communities and historical roots reflected directly in the academic material.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Supplemental Student Materials. Comparing the worksheets from Day 1 to Day 5 perfectly captures the whole journey of the gradual release model. Take a look at Day 1's flag focus. Notice how heavily structured it is. Students are given the exact meanings, like blue background represents loyalty, and they just need to match them up. Now contrast that with Day 5's My Community Shield. It is completely open-ended, the training wheels are totally off, they are challenged to design their own shield representing Oklahoma City today. Now, let's zoom in on the scaffolding for Day 2, focusing on the Great Seal. For our English language learners and striving readers, notice the strategic use of workbanks and sentence frames. Down at the bottom, the journal reflection actually provides the start of the sentence for them. The handshake in the center of the Great Seal is important because it shows this completely removes the barrier of sentence construction, so the student can focus entirely on demonstrating their historical understanding. Oh, Day 3 introduces one of my absolute favorite activities in the whole unit, word math. To teach how the state got its name, which was proposed by Chief Allen Wright back in 1866, the worksheet breaks it down visually. Ukla, meaning people, plus Hama, meaning red, equals Oklahoma. It's just a brilliant, fun way to make linguistic history concrete and memorable for an 8-year-old. Then on Day 4, the kids tackle the Oklahoma State Salute. Notice the closed passage where they fill in the missing pieces, but the real genius here is the second part, connect to the flag. Students literally have to draw a line from the word peace in their daily school salute to the actual objects on the flag, the olive branch and the peace pipe that represent it. It seamlessly connects a daily rote routine directly to deep historical symbolism. Which brings us to the culmination of the whole shebang, the blank canvas. After 4 solid days of explicit modeling, collaborative practice, and highly scaffolded independent work, students are handed this blank shield template. They are tasked with independently applying their new knowledge of symbolism to their own hometown community. They might draw the Devon Tower, the Thunder basketball logo, or a scissortail flycatcher. This right here, this is what Level 4 extending mastery looks like in the wild. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a real challenge. You've seen how moving systematically from I do to we do to you do creates a reliable pathway to independent mastery, even when you're dealing with really complex topics. Think about the unit you are teaching next week. How will you apply the gradual release model to completely transform your next lesson plan? Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.